So the long-term arc of the vision of the company is to unlock the resources of the moon. There are quadrillions of dollars of resources on the moon through bombardment from meteorites and asteroids for billions of years. It's all there. What are the economics of that? Well, none right now.
Okay.
But the discovery of water in the moon, which is pretty recent, changes that economics. Water is like the oil of the solar system. Hydrogen and oxygen is rocket fuel. So completely is a game changer, changes the economics, not just the value of the resources of the moon, but everywhere else you want to go in space. In the early days as a company, we're in the transportation business, not unlike SpaceX.
Got it.
We're taking stuff to the moon. If you want to send a package across the city, you call FedEx. If you want to send a package to the moon, you call MoonX.
Got it. So you're going to be a delivery service for people who want to get stuff to the moon.
Yes. And
who wants to put stuff on the moon?
Well, interestingly, quite a few people, not just
Really?
the government. We have a
Aside from Bond villains.
So we have a great manifest of a combination of government and private and science and novelty on our first mission.
So novelty, that's the thing that's the most interesting. So somebody's going to be able to put like a locket up there or the remains of a loved one.
Connecting themselves to the moon, the remains of their loved one. The moon is, a real part of our cultures, right?
Sure.
Every human culture looks at the moon very carefully. It's a symbol of love. So a lot of people want to touch the moon.
So are you going to be able to take stuff back? Let's get specific here, because
Sure.
you threw the whole sink at it there of what's possible.
First, we want to land on the moon.
Okay.
And only superpowers have done that so far. So give us, let's get that done.
Huge bragging rights. Okay.
Huge bragging rights.
Right.
But in the early first few years by 2020, we want to bring something back.
Got it.
And close the business case, show that a private sector company can go to the moon, can obtain something, can bring it back and own it and sell it. And that will be an important symbolic and a profitable mission for us.
It'll be profitable to bring a rock back from the moon.
Think of about a kilogram, maybe 3 or 4 of moon dust. Privately, be the only stuff from the moon that's privately owned on planet Earth. Only the governments own all the moon rocks now. You and I can't own them. Right? We can buy a chip off a lunar meteorite that nature delivers to Earth.
Got it.
I have one in my pocket.
Huh.
I really do. But you can't buy a real moon rock that was brought back by a robot or a human.
So you think there's people on planet Earth who will pay a lot of money for moon dust and moon rocks?
Well, there's a great...
As a keepsake?
Yeah, as a keepsake, or as an enhancement to diamonds, and so the first bit of moon dust will be profitable for us. That's not a long-term...
Is there something up there that is incredibly valuable in those minerals, or is a sort of like digging and finding out if there's something? Like, did the government find stuff up there that's incredibly valuable? Because if they did, wouldn't we be going back there all the time already?
Well, see, when we went to the moon in the 60s and 70s, it was government superpowers trying to show who's better than the other. Technical supremacy, magnificent achievements, and we're standing on the shoulders of those gigantic achievements. But now we're looking at economics and expanding the economic sphere of Earth beyond Earth orbit to the moon and then to the asteroids and beyond. So what is the actual killer app of the moon? We might not know till we get there, but we do know that there could be more platinum group metals on the surface of the moon than all the reserves of Earth. Some people love the helium-3, and that argument is that helium-3 could be a great fusion source. The technology not yet evolved, but if that technology is perfected, helium-3 could be a clean source of energy for planet Earth, and there's only a tiny bit of it on planet Earth, but there's a huge amount of it on the moon.
So there is a possibility that if you get up there and you start mining stuff and bringing it back, it could be valuable to invaluable on planet Earth.
Correct. But I think the most important resource is the water. The water makes the moon the gateway to the solar system. So the markets so water, its constituents, hydrogen and oxygen, form rocket fuel. It's a very efficient form of rocket fuel. Our rocket engines use hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, basically oxygen. HTP is like oxygen-infused water. So we now have a fuel source on the moon. If we can use the water for rocket fuel, the moon becomes a gas station in the sky.
Got it. So when we get out of the Earth's atmosphere, we could stop over to the moon. Then you could be processing some type of fuel there and refuel a ship to then go on to the
or create fuel depots in space. The point is that it's enormously expensive to get off of the Earth, out of the deep gravity well of Earth, because most of the fuel is just lifting fuel.
Right. That is not a winning proposition.
So what you want to do...
How much fuel do you need to put an equal amount of fuel into the sky, or is it like 5 to 1, 2 to 1,
in
1
general,
to 1?
people are pretty familiar with the space shuttle. A really big thing, lots of smoke and fire coming out as it goes through the sky. About 15/16 of that is fuel.
Okay, so
it's a very inefficient way to get into space using chemical propulsion. But just like it would be inefficient if there were no gas stations and you wanted to drive across the country and had to take all the gas with you.
Right. Except that once you get it up there, there's no resistance in space, so you need a lot less fuel, don't you, when you get into space, if you're going to travel?
This is the key. The Earth is this huge gravity well. Once you're in space, you're halfway to anywhere.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you about Braintree. Yes, Payments 101. You have a brilliant idea, but you need to turn it into a great product that people can't wait to buy. But now is the time to think about how you'll accept payments. You'll first need a payment gateway that collects your customers' payment data, and you have to make sure their funds are approved. Then you need to send those funds to a merchant account. And the merchant account is a temp holding tank for your money collected from online sales. Once it passes through your merchant account, it ends up in your bank account. Yes, there's multiple steps. It's not simple, but it becomes very simple when you use Braintree. Yes, Braintree is a payments platform that comes with a payment gateway and a merchant account. They make it super simple. All you have to do is add a couple of lines of code to your app, to your website, and it all works. You can make it work so simply by visiting braintreepayments.com/twist, braintreepayments.com/twist. It is the easiest way to add payments to any product or service. Many of the companies I've invested in use it, and every time a new product or service comes out, like Apple Pay or Bitcoin, whatever it is, the next payment service that we don't even know about or haven't considered, they will incorporate it, and they do it usually before that service even launches or while it's launching. So you just wind up getting this incredible wind in your sails, basically, by using Braintree. I see it happen on all my startups. They save weeks, if not months, of coding and pain and suffering by just using Braintree for their payments. Go ahead and visit braintreepayments.com/twist. And a personal thank you from me to Braintree for making such a great product that all my startups I invest in use. Just a great product. Okay, and it's simple. All right, let's get back to this amazing episode.